What's up, friends? Welcome into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. And thanks for listening as well on ESPN Kansas City with Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. We are live in the Kansas Nation studios here on Mass Street. When you're walking down Mass, come check us out. Take a peek in. Really thrilled with this state-of-the-art facility that we've got here in downtown LK. Want to say a big thanks to Miles Schneider and everybody over at Crown Automotive for their partnership as well. A lot to get into here today, Dan. Dan's going to be going over to the Big 12 Women's Basketball Media Days at T-Mobile, and then we will all be there tomorrow for the men's side of things. Today, we've got some KU football media availability as well, so I'll be staying in town, making sure we get all sorts of coverage. Keep up to date on KansasNation.com for everything you need to know on that front. Here in the opening segment, we are going to talk Toronto Blue Jays going to the World Series. It's Canada against LA. How about that?
Yeah.
Blue Jays and Dodgers. Interested to see who people are cheering for in that one because the lone team from Canada is going to the World Series.
Yeah,
But
it's like as much as you want to hate the Dodgers, you're like, do I want to cheer for Canada? You know?
right. Monday Night Football recap as well. There were two games last night that we did not have money on, unfortunately. Fortunately for you.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, I actually did have money. I
Uh,
threw a little bit of money
you
on
finally
the
threw some money on your game picks.
yeah, and that's how it happens. I'll give my game picks and I don't bet on them, and then they win every single time. And then when I'm like, all right, well maybe I know what I'm talking about. Then I'll throw money down, and I always lose.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers
You
got
should try
their
opposite.
face
You
kicked
should try
in.
that. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
rough. Seriously, feel bad for Mike Evans, though. We'll get into that
Yeah.
here as well. But we're also going to talk KU women's basketball. Like I said, Dan's heading over to Kansas City to get some audio from some KU women's basketball players. We're going to potentially hear from Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark as well, who's speaking at the beginning of this two-day event in Kansas City, and perhaps some other audio as well. We'll get as much content as possible here as we are on the cusp of basketball season. Next segment, Dan, tell us about this Top 10 Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a very special top 10. I'm glad you said this, Sean.
Mm.
It is top 10 clutch moves. Anything you can do in the world that's determines to be a clutch move, like hitting a home run at the right time.
I was going to say, it's interesting that you chose this one right after the goings on of last night, but
Yeah.
what is is free beer on there?
No,
Community beer,
I
the
have
guy who brings the community beer.
so I have a lot, and you're gonna love this list.
Okay.
It's just clutch moves, things that are just like people will do, and
Right when you need them.
right exactly when
Yeah,
you need it.
that's
It's the most clutch thing imaginable.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Well, after the top 10 Tuesday, we're going to hear from KU head soccer coach Nate Lee. Important victory for Nate Lee and the girls on Sunday, 1-0 over Cincinnati. And big Utah swing. The old dreaded 5-day trip to
Yeah.
Utah, but some altitude for KU soccer. They're still a top 15 RPI team. They're not ranked right now. They're on the brink of being ranked, but like I said, the RPI is strong and an opportunity, particularly against BYU, for KU soccer to pick up a marquee win on the road. After Nate Lee, we're going to be joined in studio by David Lawrence from the Jayhawk Radio Network. Big game this weekend. If you didn't hear, KU K-State, the Dillon Sunflower Showdown, 11 a.m. at the booth. We're also going to hear from KU offensive coordinator Jim Zabrowski and perhaps a Jayhawk player as well as we fire off the content back to game week for KU football. And we'll always filter in some basketball talk as well as KU Louisville will do battle in the exhibition, 6:30 Central at the Yum Center on Friday. Well, let's start really quick with the World Series. It's set Toronto and LA. You got to feel good for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right?
Oh yeah.
Vlad Guerrero Sr., of course, played for the Expos, a team that relocated to Washington, D.C. So, like I said, the Blue Jays are the only team in Canada, but putting on a special performance in the postseason is Vlad Guerrero Jr. He's got 6 homers in the postseason, tying both Joe Carter and Jose Bautista, Joey Bats, for the most in Blue Jays postseason history. 385 with a 1.330 OPS and struck out just 2 times in the ALCS. But last night, that particular game, by George, the Blue Jays did it. It was George Springer hitting a 3-run homer, 4-3, to put the Jays on top of the Mariners in the 7th inning. You talk about a kid's dream. 3-run homer in that situation in Game 7. I didn't realize this. I understand Springer played with the Astros for a long time, and obviously they nearly are always in the postseason and won everything that they won or didn't win, depending on who you ask. He's got 23 postseason homers. That's
Goodness
tied for the third
gracious.
most all time. George Springer, and yeah, he leaned back and unloaded on that one. So indeed, the Jays, who are the 1 seed in the American League and won a really tough division that includes the Yankees and the Red Sox, they stand alone now atop the American League.
Question for you. So, do you feel bad for the Seattle Mariners at all?
I kind of do. Cal Raleigh called it a failure.
So, I have a stat for you. So, this is going to be the 48th World Series since the Mariners began play in 1977. They haven't played in any of them. No other MLB, NBA, NFL, or NHL franchise all time has gone that long to begin a franchise history without reaching the championship round while remaining in the same city.
I do feel bad for them.
That's horrible.
Never been to a World Series.
That's horrible.
They get to Game 7. And you'll remember, they won the first 2 games on the road in this series.
Yeah, they did.
So they were up 2-0. Like, I can't imagine the heartbreak right now in the Pacific Northwest. The Blue Jays would then win the next 2 games in Seattle. So it's 2-2. But Seattle gets the grand slam from Eugenio Suarez to win Game 5. So they're up 3-2. Going back to Toronto, and unfortunately for the Mariners, the Blue Jays get it done. And again, they were up 3-1 in the 7th. So at that point, you're counting down outs, and Springer comes up with the big stick, and just an electric atmosphere, by the way, at Rogers Center, and just more heartbreak. But yeah, Cal Raleigh using the word failure. That is rough. I mean, I get it, like, especially if your franchise has never been to the Fall Classic, but that's rough. Raleigh obviously had a historic season, one that's never been seen before by a catcher offensively. He's a switch hitter too.
And also, he's so young. Like, he's I mean, he's only going to get better. So, like, you have to imagine if they continue to keep this core group of guys around, then they should be fine for at least a little bit. They have a window.
Isn't it?
They're in their window right now.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting that if you don't win for a while, then people kind of start cheering for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, my first thought is, oh man, if the Royals don't get it done, I'm cheering for Seattle. Their fans deserve this, right? But you look back, and like the Royals specifically, and to a larger extent the Chiefs, fall into that, where the Royals are lovable losers for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then they get to the World Series, and it's a fun story, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, the little guy,
The world
low
was
on the
rooting
low on the
for-
payroll, right?
yeah.
But that's how it was for the Chiefs too. You go
Yeah.
back to the first Chiefs AFC Championship game, the one they lost to the
Steve
Patriots.
Ford.
Of course, it was the Patriots. So whoever it was, people were going to cheer against them, and
Right.
that's ironic now, looking back at that now. But people were cheering for the Chiefs, right? It was like, oh my gosh, these up and comers that haven't won anything
Yeah.
in ages. And then
Patrick Mahomes is young and fun. Travis Kelce's handsome. They have
And
Tyreek
now-
Hill, who's fun and fast.
And now, since then, 7 straight AFC Championship games for the Chiefs, and people hate the Chiefs.
you either die a legend or you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do the Sandlot quote there. I was a little
No.
confused.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mixing
So
the
true.
two. It was like
Yeah,
a
so true though. But
Malaphor.
But anyway, the Blue Jays go to the World Series. Blue Jays Dodgers. So I mean, I guess I don't know. The Blue Jays, are they the little guy? They have the 5th highest payroll in the major leagues.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know that I would say that. Dodgers are 2.
So does this? I mean, I hate to bring this up again. What do you think this
hate
means
to be the
for,
one to bring
for
this up.
What does this mean for 2027?
In terms of, oh yeah, I know.
If we're gonna play ball,
Yeah.
because it's just proving the point. And the Dodgers are going to have pushback. Probably even the Blue Jays are going to have pushback because they have the 5th highest payroll.
Seattle is 16 and Milwaukee is 23. Those are the other teams in the championship series. So at least there's that. But yeah, it's 2 and 5 right now. The Mets, number 1, they didn't make the playoffs.
Who is the least? Who is the
Miami?
lowest?
Miami has the lowest,
Okay.
Slightly below.
You'd figure it'd be
teams
the
you would expect.
Sacramento A's.
The Sacramento A's and
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Rays. But Royals are 20. By the way, so we'll see what happens in the World Series. It starts here in a couple days, but yeah, I mean, I love great scenes in sports. Like, who doesn't? Springer hits that 3-run homer. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like the Rogers Center.
Oh yeah.
It's just incredible. Yeah, I mean, it's reminiscent. Do you remember the Bryson Stott home run? That's kind of a weird poll, but a couple years ago, he plays for the Phillies in the postseason. I don't remember what his walk-up song was, but it was one that was so popular at the time. The entire stadium was singing it and just going crazy as he was walking up. The bases were loaded. It was a big
I
moment
don't
in the
remember what
postseason.
his
And
walk-up
Bryson
song was.
Stott, kind of a punching Judy. I mean, he's kind of a singles hitter. He's fast,
Sure.
that sort of thing, but absolutely crushes a grand slam.
Hell yeah.
And just the Phillies fans who are already, as you know, Philadelphia fans are what they are. Just insane scene. So I love that. That's kind of how it was up north of the border yesterday. But the Mariners fans, at least they got for the next hour to enjoy Sam Darnold
Yeah.
leading the Seahawks to a victory.
It's true. Also,
Seahawks,
your CS runner-ups,
yeah,
like the hang a banner if you want.
yeah, right.
They can.
Seahawks 27-19 over the Texans. Other Monday night game I read perfectly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Lions have no problem covering against the Bucks 24-9. That
It's
game went
unbelievable.
well under the number. Mike Evans, like we talked about, is probably going to be out for the year with a broken clavicle. That's a bummer. Emeka Egbuka did not score in this game. It's kind of a one-sided affair throughout. I don't really know what to make of the Seahawks, or pardon me, of the Lions' struggles at times throughout this season. You can say what you will. They're still the Lions. I mean, they're still going to be right there. I'd be shocked if they're not playing in the NFC Championship game, if I'm being clear. But yeah, they got it done against the Bucks. Bucks, kind of one of those situations, Dan. They've been riding hot. They've been a trendy team, a little bit bruised and battered though, and that kind of caught up to them last night.
Yeah, I think so, right? And obviously it sucks for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's also been dealing with a bunch of stuff too. And you look at some of the young guys like Emeka Egbuka and Tez Johnson who had a touchdown yesterday. I believe he's the skinniest in terms of weight. He's the lightest player in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm relatively certain that's true.
Yeah, because the
Uh,
teammate was
yeah,
the
yeah. Desmond.
Florida
That's
kid,
kind of annoying me.
Desmond something.
Desmond.
Watson.
What Desmond Watson sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like 480. No, he wasn't that much. He
Yeah.
was like
Desmond
430.
Watson.
He was a big boy. But yeah, Tez Johnson has been awesome, and Baker has been playing lights out. But I don't know what happened. I mean, it was an unbelievable, like, the line, because I'm kind of with you. Like, you look at the Lions and you go, man, like they're either really good or really bad, and there's no really in between, right? It's like, oh, either you can carve up their defense or they will absolutely kill you. And I think a lot of it has to do with some injuries, right? They have had a lot of injured players before. I just, yeah, the game is so weird. I bought in. I had bought in to the Buccaneers hype train, and now I'm off it.
Yeah.
It's
You're totally off.
I'm totally off. I don't think they're going to make the NFC Championship anymore. I think it's going to be the Lions. Which, by the way, the Lions, I do think they're probably going to make the Super Bowl this year, if not the NFC Championship game once again. It could be Lions Commanders. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Eagles suck.
I'm out on the Commanders. I liked them last year.
I
I
still
think
think
this
they
is
could
a
do it,
down
man.
year for them. I
Yeah,
don't know.
fair
I
enough.
just we have to see. But the Seahawks, that's another team that we haven't really been talking about. And
True.
Sam Darnold is what he is, but he's, I mean, pretty good quarterback, right? I mean, they lost by 3 to the Bucks in that back and forth affair. Otherwise, all they've been doing is winning. They're 5-2 right now, a 3-point loss to the Bucks and a 4-point loss to the Niners. I don't really know what to do with their running backs. I mean, I feel like Zach Charbonnet is the better runner, which is probably disappointing for some because Kenneth Walker was like the next big thing.
I was so high on Kenneth Walker
Yeah.
coming out of Michigan State. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they've got a bye now, do the Seahawks, and then they're at the football team. They have the Cardinals at home and then at the Rams. But that's a team, again, people aren't talking about to be a potential Super Bowl contender, right? But Darnold's at it again. He did it with the Vikings,
Right.
and now it seems like the Seahawks are in good spot. And Geno Smith, by the way, is trending the other direction.
Yeah, I guess what does that say about the New York Jets?
The Jets are bad.
The Jets are bad.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought this up.
The Jets are bad. Yeah.
The
We could
Jets,
spend a segment on that.
is it just a I don't know, just a environmental thing, or just like if you're with the Jets, like you just it sucks all the life out of you?
I mean,
because if that's the case, then maybe you still should be in on Justin Fields.
that's true. I am still in on Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence is terrible.
Come on.
Justin Fields has no help right now. Justin Fields was good for the Steelers,
Trevor
and he was
Lawrence,
pretty
like,
good.
Single-handedly
Fields
beat
was
the
good for the
Chiefs.
Steelers, and he was pretty good for the. Yeah, that was an anomaly of all anomalies. That was terrible.
So you think it doesn't count?
You were on
because
the flip
it's
side.
so unlike
You on the
him.
flip side are just going to ignore everything else that
Of
he's
course I
done
am.
since he got drafted.
Of course I'm going to ignore it.
Good. I'm glad that we're clear on that. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm a Fields believer still. I'd say that. We got to get him off the Jets though. This is a train wreck. But yeah, same thing. Like both the Panthers and the Browns had Baker. It's like, what are you doing? Also the
Yeah.
Rams.
No, I know.
I just don't. The Browns in particular, though, that's the team you look at for any quarterback gaffes for
That's
sure.
true. I mean, the Carolina Panthers had Baker Mayfield playing scout team defensive end.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's that too.
there
But
is that.
yeah, but
That's
there's
bad.
a lot of quarterback purgatory teams.
Aren't the Panthers 4-3 now?
They are.
How about that?
I know.
Good for the little guy.
Bryce Young.
All right, let's talk KU women's basketball. Who are we going to hear from a little bit later, Dan? And we'll see this coverage on kansasnation.com. But some Jayhawks are going over, of course, to Big 12 Media Days in Kansas City. We're going to hear from 3 Jayhawks plus Coach Brandon today, and we will also hear from Coach Self and some guys tomorrow, plus some other faces, other coaches, other players around the Big 12, and hopefully Commissioner Yormark as well. Always a lot of storylines when this day comes about. You're in the middle of football season. Commissioner Yormark's going to be asked a lot about that, I'm sure. But basketball front and center at the T-Mobile Center, and it'll be excited to see what the gals today have to say.
Yeah, it'd be very exciting. Yeah, so we got Elle Evans coming in. Obviously, she's going to be, one of the main starters on this squad. She's the best shooter on the team, I think. Also, Samaya Nichols, the true head of the snake, the absolute best player on this squad, the leader on this squad. She's coming back for her junior year. She's going to be out there as well. And then Jalea Davis, 5-star out of Kansas City. She's the best freshman that we got, which is the 7th best recruiting class in the entire nation, right? So Jalea Davis is going to be going out there, and that's going to be a lot of fun because she's going to be that starting power forward. Have you seen videos of her like dunking volleyballs? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
She can dunk a volleyball. It's like it's absolutely insane. So hopefully, maybe a little bit farther down the line, she gets a little bit just.
Hey,
just
she's
like
young, man.
I'm about to say
Bright,
like
light-footed.
an inch more. You're dunking a women's basketball, and that would be awesome to see a dunk from Jalea Davis in Allen Fieldhouse. How electric would that be?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd be a huge fan of that. But yeah, we're gonna hear from those 3. Obviously, there's a lot more players that we're not even mentioning, like Leia Canessa, Reagan Williams, Keely Parks, Libby Fandel, a lot of different girls on this squad who are really, the freshmen are going to have such a giant impact, but there are a lot of girls coming back from last year's squad, which at times you saw glimmers of hope, right? They won the Peach Invitational, right? They managed to beat Auburn. They had a couple of weird bad stretches in conference play, and didn't end up quite the way that they wanted it to. But you look at this squad and you go, man, we're really good. We're just a little maybe thin in terms of size down low. Other than that, they have some of the best shooting in the nation. They have one of the best point guards in the nation in Samaya Nichols, right? Elle Evans is a strap, absolutely just a knockdown shooter from outside. Reagan has been doing her best down low. She's only 6'3", but you saw her battling down there with people like Sedona Prince. So you have tough girls, you have really good shooters, you have good ball handlers. I think that it's going to be a very special year. I don't be surprised if Kansas winds up being ranked this year at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised because what's the word that we use all the time talking about pretty much any sport? Depth.
Yeah.
This Kansas women's basketball team last year really, really lacked depth, particularly toward the end when the injuries got them. You look, KU was bounced in the first round of the Big 12 tournament against Texas Tech, who wasn't a very good team. KU did not have 100% healthy Samaya Nichols. Elle Evans didn't play at all in the Big 12 tournament and was just bruised and battered. Plus, they had some other players that you had never even saw throughout the season that you expected to see. There were injuries, there were transfers. One thing led to another. Now you kind of have this tight-knit 12-person team.
It's
right.
There's only 12
There's
girls,
only
but you feel like there's
12.
more depth.
Well, yeah, there's only 12. Exactly. There's more depth. You feel more comfortable playing some of these. So I'm going to play the Guess That Starting 5 game. And that's
our favorite game.
It's tricky because there are a lot of people I'm not going to name that I do think are going to have impact. There's also been some some injuries, some people as everybody deals with. I'm trying to decide if I want to do starting five first game or starting five down the line. I think I'll go first game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Against
first game because that's
UMKC.
generally how we play it. So Elle Evans and Samaya Nichols are obviously, out of the park. Those two are gonna start.
So are you considering the Fort Hays State game, the exhibition, the
Yeah,
first game?
let's do
All
that.
right, fine.
So we've got Reagan Williams as the starting five. I think that she earned that with her good play. She was, I think, better than people anticipated last year
Yeah.
as a freshman. So again, a little bit undersized at 6'3", as you said, but definitely she proved her worth as a freshman. Is going to keep getting better. Jalea Davis certainly is going to start at the 4. So the only question is the point guard. This is kind of how I was phrasing it earlier. You got to think Keely Parks is eventually going to start there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure if that'll be the case, but you have depth there in that you have Sanaya Copeland, who's more of a defense first player, and you have Laya Canessa, who was forced into action a lot last year. Those two can be pieces. I kind of look at those two as glue girls, right? Defense first,
Yeah.
come in and spot the starters, but they've proven in the past that they can start if pushed into action. And then otherwise, you're going to see Libby Fandel this year. Tatiana Brown is somebody that they've talked about, a freshman. She's more of a depth piece a little bit further down the rotation, at least as a freshman, I would think. Brittany Harshaw is somebody who could come in and knock down some triples. She had a couple huge games last year. So you're going to see something from all those. And then in terms of the front court, you probably won't see as many minutes from Nadira El Tayeb as you saw last year, just because KU's got a more talented group of girls this year around. But Lily Meister, a senior, comes over from Indiana.
Lily Meister.
The Lily Meister. She's going to get some run too. She talked about how comfortable she is, how much better she feels being able to rise and fire and do some things that made her fall in love with the game of basketball. We heard her last week talk about some of those things. So just so many. We don't know how it's going to shake out. We feel pretty confident about those 4 initial starters that I mentioned. But so much depth, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for some girls to make an impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? And I love this game, by the way. Guess that starting 5. Samaya L. I'm going to go Jalea at the 4. That feels obvious to me. I think Lily Meister maybe gets a start at the beginning over Reagan Williams. Now, I think, like you said, Reagan Williams probably earned it, right? But what I saw from Lily Meister at late night, which again is late night, don't take anything from late night ever, because Sam Cunliffe, Charlie Moore, and Carlton Bragg all were potential All-Americans after late night. I liked what I saw from the Lily Meister, right?
She's got a little bit more size.
Yeah, a little bit more size, a little bit longer arms, a little bit more of a rim protector than Reagan potentially, but it depends on just how much Brandon trusts his own girls and wants to give Reagan the edge up just because of the fact of how well she played, kind of being thrown into the fire last year. I think Lily Meister is going to end up being a starter. So I have Keely, Samaya, Jalea.
Keely was the one you didn't say. So if Keely is your
Keely.
point, then
all right, Keely's my point.
Going with point.
There
all
you
right,
go.
Fair enough. So as always, it's only 5 you can start.
Should it be Laya though? Laya Canessa?
Keely's been banged up a little bit too, so we'll see.
I bet Laya Canessa starts off the season maybe. The Barcelona bucket.
God, great nickname. That's
Canessa.
one of my favorites. After this, we're going to do a little top 10 Tuesday. But yeah, you're going to hear from the KU women's basketball players. All sorts of content, not only on Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com, but on that website, KansasNation.com. You're listening as well to ESPN Kansas City.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
It's Top 10 Tuesday, and we're going with top 10 clutch moves. This has been marinating for a while. Dan, break it down for us.
All right. Let's start off with number 10 here. By the way, Sean, it's a very special top 10.
Yes.
You never
didn't say that yet.
I know, you never say that anymore.
I know. I need to bring it back. Maybe.
A very special top 10 Tuesday. Top 10 clutch moves. Starting off with number 10. By the way, so all these are like clutch moves that people will do to you. Right?
Okay.
For you.
Yeah.
Saving a parking spot for somebody at a sporting event. is the
That
most.
that is a good one. Yeah.
It's like one of the more clutch things. Like you're on the phone with somebody, they're already there. They're like, dude, there's a spot right next to me. Like,
Yeah.
save it for me. And you're like a mile away, like speeding in there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're like standing in the.
Right.
It's just
Well, sporting events a little tricky because
or maybe not sport, but like
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
right?
anything.
It
Like
could be
on Mass
anything.
Street, like you're meeting somebody down here,
Right.
and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, there's a spot right in front of the studio. Like
Yeah.
I'll literally lay down in it so that you can see that
All
you.
right. By the way,
It's a
we're
clutch
parked
move.
right next to each other out front.
We are. I know, very cute. Get the little purple people eater of yours, and then my wife's Jeep.
Yeah.
So there you go. So there we go.
But no, saving his parking spot that's such a clutch move. You're
Yeah.
just like, man, what a guy! Like,
Yeah.
what an absolute dog.
Tougher at
to-
sporting events because then you get
Yeah.
the people at.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. I guess I should have rephrased that. Not at sporting events. Yeah, the air traffic controllers. They're like a third base coach. They're like,
Like at Kauffman Stadium.
right. Oh man. But yeah, no, like I guess like on mass streets probably.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
a better way to do that, or like when you're in like a crowded parking lot of like at a mall, or I don't know.
It's a clutch move.
Yeah, it's a clutch move. Absolutely, it's a clutch move. No, there's more. There's better ones because it's only number 10. Number 9 on my top 10 clutch moves: letting someone borrow their charger.
Oh God.
That's like I was like, man, I'm at 1%. I
Yeah.
have to call 18 people,
Yep.
and this is not, or else my life is gonna be ruined. And then
I,
some guy's like, you wanna use my charger?
I personally have never
Clutch.
needed to borrow a charger, as my phone is always at 100%. But I can imagine for somebody whose phone is dying often that is something that needs to come in. I mean, there's a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a helping hand.
Your computer.
My
Your
computer
phone
is
is also
awful.
bad. Your computer is genuinely terrible.
It is, man. I seriously.
You have the worst battery I've ever seen in my life.
In breaks, I like this computer for what it was, which was a cheap purchase with good reviews. But one of the main hatreds on it, the main, people saying this is no good.
Battery's awful.
Battery.
Yeah, it sucks.
Battery, and it is like, dude, I'm in between breaks of the show having to go charge it. It's no
That's
fun.
insane.
But yes,
My
the
phone-
phone charger is clutch.
my
Your
phone dies
computer
all the
charger
time.
matches with my phone, which has come in handy for me a time
That's
or
very
two.
true.
So there you go.
Yes, I constantly give you my USB-C charger. My phone dies a ton. Well, ever since we started this new job, we're starting to take videos more. It just completely drains battery. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
It's like, no, I need this. But yeah, letting someone borrow your charger is an absolutely great one. Number 8 on my top 10 clutch moves: secretly reminding you of somebody's name when you forgot it.
Oh my God.
Isn't that such a
yes.
good, like you're with somebody, you're like, oh hey, what's up, man? And like
Yeah.
and your
Hey,
friend comes up.
Josh.
Yeah, you're like, Josh, you're not gonna, and you're like, that's Josh.
Yeah.
That's Josh. I know Josh.
And then you got to make a point to say
Yes.
Josh's name over
Yeah.
and over, so he knows
say
that
it
you
like,
know
yeah,
his
say
name.
it 4 or 5 times in the same.
I was just talking to Josh, and
Yeah, absolutely. But like, there's always, because like I've actually done this before too. Like I can tell somebody does not know somebody's name,
oh, absolutely.
and I'll throw it out.
Hey, man.
Yeah, and then I'll do them a favor, and I'll do that little clutch move. I'll be like, oh hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And they're like, Jimmy, yeah, no, John, and, oh yeah, Jimmy, of course,
which is,
Jimmy and I go way back. We're
Which is funny because you are not always the best at remembering people's names.
no,
So
I'm bad.
I'm glad that you've come up clutch in a few situations.
I'm really bad at that. I need to, in this line of work especially.
If it were Gabe Boucher, one of our fabulous staff here over at Kansas Nation, he would say Jim Bob and Susie.
Yes, Jim Bob and Susie.
Jim Bob and Susie.
Jim Bob and
Yes.
Susie. Yeah.
Jim Bob and Susie are just
That's a classic John Doe and Jane Doe.
Yes.
Number 7 on my top 10 clutch moves: bringing a speaker to the function.
Gotta
bring
do
a
it.
speaker,
Got to do it.
especially if like you're like, oh, nobody brought one, and they're like, I have one in my car. They're just like, they have it ready.
Oh yeah, I got one in
on
my
hand.
car.
Yeah, I got one right here.
Do
I
you
got-
have
It's so good.
this probably isn't at the forefront nowadays, but do you have
Like a big boom box from 1985.
No, sorry, I was going a different way. I'm saying, do you have a like bringing a jacket or an extra coat or something on here?
No, I
Because
don't.
sometimes, like,
That is a
like
good
having
honorable
one of those in
mention.
your car,
Yes.
sometimes, yeah, that's always clutch. But yeah,
Great honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having a like man, like some guy pulled up in a short sleeve shirt, and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
man,
right.
I got an extra hoodie in the
Or
car.
just guys in general. We're like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
be fine in this. Then you're like, oh my god, it's cold.
Yeah, it's
Like I
horrible.
would give anything right now for
Yeah, and
for a
they got an
jacket.
extra one.
Yeah.
I usually do have that just because my car is an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
I
So it's not intentional. It's,
no,
yeah.
it's just like I know I have one back there. It's not because I was thinking ahead. It's because I'm a filthy, filthy man.
Still a clutch move. Still a clutch move.
Still a clutch move. But yeah, bringing a speaker to the function. It's
Yeah.
gotta be on there. Number 6 on my top 10 clutch moves, grabbing your phone, wallet, or keys that you forgot. And we've all been there. Like, we're like, all right, like you're like dinner or something. You get up and start walking to your car. Somebody slaps you on the shoulder, like, hey man, you forgetting these keys or something? Oh, dude.
Thanks for having my back.
Thank you, man. That is
I would even put leftovers on that.
leftovers is a
Yes.
great one too.
You have leftover phone, wallet,
Yeah.
keys, and leftovers. The big 4.
The big 4. I never go anywhere without my phone, wallet, keys, or leftovers.
Yes. We rarely have leftovers though, me and you. I mean,
No. I lick my plate clean every time.
this dude can put down some food. I mean, we were at Hy-Vee. Shout out to John and Keegan and Jen and everybody, great people over there. We were at Hy-Vee and they had steak night, which they have on Thursdays. $12, by the way, for
Yes.
steak, a roll, sweet corn, mashed potatoes. $12? You kidding me?
Pretty good.
Dan Courtwright put down a couple of those and also some pie. And there's no method to your
Yes.
madness. You have some pie and then a bite of steak and then go back to some other pie.
Yeah. I like to
You'll make room,
I
like you said.
yeah. My girlfriend, my fiance, she always gets mad at me because I don't chew my food. I put it in my
That
mouth.
is, I have to teach my 2-year-old to do that.
I put it in my mouth, I press it down with my tongue, and I slide it down my epiglottis. And it is
That sounds
it
safe.
is a problem. I probably will choke one of these days, but it hasn't happened yet.
All right. You live to
It's
see
a
another
big
day.
problem. That's a big problem. I need to start chewing my food.
Yes.
It's
Man.
yeah, it's not good.
right, what's
where am
next?
I at? Where am I at? I was at number 6. Number 5. Number 5 on my top 10 clutch moves is Michael Jordan's crossover in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, 1998.
So clutch.
So
Do you have his
clutch. I have a picture up of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Is that real?
beautiful.
Crossover.
Beautiful.
By the way, do you think he pushed off?
Don't care.
Don't care.
It was so
Interesting.
iconic. What was it? Was it
Interesting that you
Byron
don't
Russell?
care.
Was that who it was?
I can't remember.
I feel like it was Byron Russell who was the player on the Jazz.
Now, is it a move? Because Allen Iverson's more known for having that as his move. But that was a clutch move that Michael Jordan did.
What a clutch pull by me there.
Was
Byron
Byron-
Russell. Shout
Byron
out.
Russell.
Yeah.
Did they interview
I
him?
mean, I
Did they
don't.
interview
I
him
really
for
don't. I don't
for
think
The
it was
Last
a push
Dance?
off. I don't think it was.
Was he on
push
The
off.
Last Dance?
I don't remember. I gotta go back and
I
watch
think
it.
he
It's
was.
so good.
I think they had him on The
That's
Last
so
Dance,
good.
and they had him like testify, say no, he didn't push off.
Yeah.
That whole thing, by the way, I think was propaganda just to like make sure that everybody knew that Michael Jordan didn't push off.
Look at the title of this article. It's obviously not a national. It's from somewhere in Utah. 20 years after Michael Jordan push off, Byron Russell feels Jazz should retire his jersey. Wow. Actually, it says
Man.
Brian Russell as they misspelled his name.
Brian, of course.
So
was
there
Jacques
you go.
Vaughn on
God,
that
what
team?
an iconic.
No, Jacques
iconic
Vaughn was
moment.
not on that Jazz team.
No,
Or
because that was
that would
in
have been
90.
his senior year.
So it was in 98.
That would have been before he was drafted.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, clutch move, Michael Jordan. Number 4 on my top 10 clutch moves, getting you out of a conversation you don't want to be in.
That's definitely top 5.
It like somebody they can track it. You're in a conversation, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Hey, will you
and
come?
then-
Hey,
and
will you
so-
come
yeah,
help me with this?
somebody comes up to like,
Yeah.
hey man, I really need I need
Hey,
I need to borrow you for a sec.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry, man. Do you mind?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll
I'm
be right
sorry.
back.
No, sorry. I gotta.
Yeah.
The best thing ever.
That is top tier because we've all been trapped
Oh, yeah.
before. We've
Oh,
all been
yeah.
trapped. You know, love chatting with everybody when you get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need an out. You need an out,
Absolutely
and
need an
people
out.
are not giving you an out. This happened to me this weekend actually.
Really.
This older gentleman, nice guy,
fan of the show.
he knows a ton about sports, but he stopped me and we just I couldn't I couldn't. I mean,
Right.
it got to like 10, 15 minutes where he was just talking, and there was no natural time for
Ah,
me to say, "Well, I got to get going," or
right.
and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, obviously.
Sure,
And I
yeah.
appreciate talking to
'Cause
people,
they keep on going like,
but
"Oh, that reminds
I
me of
was
this
like,
one
"Oh,
time."
yes," and then he was dropping
Yeah.
all these sports figures, like not even players and coaches, like owners and general managers and commissioners, and I'm like, "Dude, I don't know these people that you're talking about."
Yeah, right.
But nice
Man,
guy, but yeah,
sure.
sometimes you need that out.
Yeah, you need an out. You need an out. Where were you at? Were you in a public place or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but you didn't
Restaurant.
know anybody there that was able to give you
So
the out.
my buddy was meeting me, but hadn't been there yet.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
it
You were
was
waiting on that's
yeah,
horrible.
it
That's
was
horrible.
just
You always see you always have to go with a travel buddy for this reason
right.
in particular.
Keep one in your bag.
Yeah. Keep a travel buddy in your bag just to get you out of these conversations. Number 3 on my top 10 clutch moves. This is something fantastic. This happened to me over 4th of July. Making breakfast the morning after a night out. If
If somebody is willing to do that,
dude, I woke up. This was 4th of July weekend. We went down to Lake of the Ozarks.
and 10.
I woke up and one of my buddies had a Blackstone at this thing.
Oh, don't say
at this,
biscuits and gravy.
no, not biscuits
Oh,
and gravy, but
I
like
was kind of wishing it was biscuits and gravy.
bacon and like easy eggs, and then like also like burgers and like sausage patties, just the whole spread, and it was the most like I almost gave him a little kiss on the cheek because it was so
That is
nice.
so funny that you just said that, because I'm like, that's the type of thing that's deserving of a kiss.
It
I mean,
really
that's-
is. No,
yeah.
I know.
Somebody like makes biscuits and gravy. I go back to because on my brother's bachelor party, this is like 15 years ago. My oldest brother, he has one of his close friends from college is a professional chef.
Oh,
So
gosh.
we obviously
That's
had a
insane.
night out, threw back a beer or two, and then the next morning he had made this spicy sausage gravy with homemade biscuits. Then I was like, good God, man. Just
Ugh.
everybody, I think, wanted to give him a kiss. I mean, it
Yes,
was
dude. If you're
just,
the
you
guy who
talk
makes
about
breakfast the next
saving the
morning.
day.
Yes.
So
Oh,
good.
I love that, man. Oh, what a clutch move.
It is.
Number 2 on my top 10 clutch moves: ordering apps for the table.
Oh yeah, you can just put them on my tab.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
well,
Oh.
I'll get some fried pickles, and what else you guys?
Yeah,
and
no, it's on me. Seriously.
some onion rings,
Yeah.
and then what else?
It's on. Yeah, you guys want to try the spinach
Actually,
dip?
no, not the onion rings. Give me the bloomin' onion. And then they're
You guys
like,
want to try the spinach
yeah,
dip?
and then like,
Yeah.
sir, this is a Walgreens. What do
Yeah.
you?
Where are you? No, do you have the person who takes the check on here? Is that number 1?
No,
Okay.
it's not number 1. Number 1 is something else. But
Well, I'm saying that's along similar lines. No. Just one check. No,
Yeah.
no,
No, I
one
know.
check. No, seriously.
you guys do that. You and I do this a lot. Where it's like, hey, I'll get you next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right, for sure.
Yeah, I'll just like, oh, they're like, or like, oh, I'll let me get this one, and then like,
Yeah.
how about you get the next round next time we're
Yeah,
doing something or
totally,
whatever.
totally.
It's
If
it
you're
works
if
out.
you're
You
at
don't
like
wanna
a dinner
split
of
it up.
6, 7, or 8 people, and somebody is there, and it's like
I have
just one.
yeah,
one
no,
check.
that's an absolute clutch.
Yeah,
move. I have never in my life been able to do that.
No,
Absolutely
no.
No, I am very poor.
Yeah.
Number 1 on my top 10 clutch moves. Drum roll. Getting the Uber home from a night at the bars.
Great pull.
Getting the Uber.
Yep.
Be like, hey, I got the Uber. He's on the way.
Yes. Even if you're doing it begrudgingly.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
As long as
they'll
you
still
do it, that's clutch. And then you
Yeah.
look the next day, why do I have $74 charge on Uber?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's
People,
the
because
best.
at the end of the night, people just want to go home,
Yeah.
and you can't drive.
Plus, it's being safe too.
Yes.
It's absolutely Leave your car. That's fine. Get a ticket. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't get a DUI. Just get a.
There is that, yeah. But a lot of you just got to make sure that you get people in one place.
Yeah.
get them out the door.
Yeah, like, man, this guy ordered an Uber XL or fitting 12 people
Yeah.
on it. It's like,
It is so
it's just,
clutch
it's
though,
so clutch.
you're worried like your phone won't. Two of your friends' phones are
Right.
dead.
Yes.
Your
Yeah,
phone's
yeah.
not working, not
Yeah.
connecting. This
You got
guy's
one
oh
buddy
no no no
asleep on a
Uber will be here in
table.
2 minutes. Oh my god. Thank you.
And then they start rounding people
Yeah,
up.
right.
They go, hey, we're leaving. No, ooh, it's outside.
Yeah,
Uber's
it's
outside.
Let's go.
It's outside.
Where's Jenny?
Yeah. That's so good.
Honorable mentions.
I have a couple. Knowing somebody, just like when you're, and this is very specific. That's why I didn't make it. But like, you're going to like a restaurant, and you're like, hey, like I know the manager.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
that's
like
big.
as somebody who
That's big time.
knows somebody who gets you into a place
Yeah.
and kind of they make you feel good. That's a clutch move.
It is.
But it's very specific, right? Because like we don't go
It's
to
not-
a lot
it's
of
not
bars that are like that or
as
restaurants
often
that
a
are like that.
situation, yeah.
But it has happened to me once or twice where I've been with somebody and it's like, oh,
Okay.
nice, man.
Right.
Dang, look at that. The restaurant hooks us up with a free app and you're like, man,
I'm on board.
man, that's awesome. But yeah, that's about all. Do you have any?
I just the ones that I filtered in throughout the show, but there's a
also-
lot out there. Did we miss anything? Find us on Twitter at the Kansas
I
Nation.
also had hitting a home run at the perfect time.
Yes, of course. Yeah, those
Which I
clutch
didn't do.
homers by George. The Blue Jays are going to the World Series. Hey, more coming up on Rock Chalk Sports after this. Thanks for listening on ESPN Kansas City and watching KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. One area for KU football that's been so consistent all season has been special teams. And interestingly enough, the special teams facet of the game has been a struggle the past couple seasons, 16 seasons, however many seasons it's been, and KU's long losing streak to K-State, who has seemingly won that secret third phase of the game every year. We don't plan on that being the case this year. KU, a strong punter in Finn Lappin. They've had great return game all year. And of course, they've had, to this point, the best kicker in the country, right? Laith Marjan. He has not missed a kick all season. Laith Marjan, a little bit earlier today, spoke to the media.
Don't check my math on that, not sure. So kudos to them. But yeah, I mean, I was confident. I was confident in our guys, our entire unit. For the snapper and holder, Emery and Graydon, the distance doesn't really change for them. So I was super confident that they do their thing and they'd allow me to do mine.
What are your conversations with Coach Leipold maybe like during that drive? Like, you tell him, okay, I'm good from a certain distance. Are you able to even stretch that out a little bit further depending on the situation?
Yeah, so depending on wind, if you got the wind at your back, even if it's a little bit, obviously it changes things. So he was kind of just asking me, and we had the wind like a little bit at our backs, kind of blowing a little bit left, and so I knew if I drove the ball a little further, it would go. And so he just asked me, where are you good from? I said 40-yard line. Try to get it there, I guess, but it's out there.
Kind of a stupid question. Have you played in rivalry games before at your previous schools?
Yeah. At South Alabama, we played against Troy on a Tuesday, and that was a big rivalry because we hadn't beat them in like a while. I think it was 11 years or something like that. And so we were playing them at home, competing for the belt. So it was good to be in that game. But rivalry games are, every game's a must win. So you still have to go out and do your thing every week.
Have any other members of the team or coach anybody talked about that, I guess, or helped educate you, I guess, on the rivalries
between K-State?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other school in our state. Like, they are, Kansas State. Like, I'm from North Carolina, right? We have the University of North Carolina, and they have North Carolina State. It's a huge rivalry there. So I expect it to be no different in the state of Kansas either.
Are you a visualization guy at all? Like,
Oh, yeah.
before you go out and you kind of see things in your head?
Yeah, I'll probably visualize today, and I don't even have to kick tomorrow. So I think it's everything. The mental piece of kicking is huge, and so when you can visualize yourself taking, every single rep the right way and every inch of your technique being right, and then, you visualize good things happening after the kick. I think it plays a factor. Our coaches think it plays a factor. But every kicker's different.
You ever visualize hitting the game-winning kick, and what does that look like?
Yeah, every week. But obviously, like, it would, we don't want to get in a situation where we gotta, scrape out a win there with a field goal. But the reality of college football is close games happen. Other teams are good and they make plays just like we do. And so if that moment comes, like, that would be my first attempt in my career. So I want to be ready for it. So So yeah, I do think about that every week.
You've been perfect this year so far. Any surprise at all by that?
No. I mean, I things happen. It's midway through the season, so for me, I still feel like there's still a lot more to do. I don't think I'm going to end the season with 10 kicks, so there's still going to be a lot more to do. And I mean, I didn't miss a whole lot last year. I feel like I pride myself in performing well in practice as well. Obviously, mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect, but I don't think me or anybody on that field goal unit was surprised that it's going in a positive way, because we did really good things when I was here in the spring.
What's the rapport like for you at this point in the season with Emory and Graydon?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, like what's your rapport like with those guys?
Oh man, it's great. And it's not just them, it's the entire specialist room. And I mean, my year 5 of college football, this is the closest knit unit we've ever had. We always go to a specialist dinner once a week. We hang out outside, we hang out on the weekends, we hang out during bye weeks. We're very close, at any point when the coaches aren't in our room or before they've come to meetings, it's never quiet. We're always talking, whether it's a bad day, a good day. We always lift each other up. So everybody's there for one another in that room.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's KU kicker Laith Marjan, who, like he said, he's never been put in a situation in college where he could potentially kick a game winner. Could that come on Saturday in a game that many people expect to be a close one in the Dillon Sunflower Showdown? Maybe it will, but all the faith in the world and Money Marjan to get it done. But yeah, big week ahead, of course, for KU athletics. We've got KU and K-State triple header, if you will, in the Dillon Sunflower Showdown. Fall ball, baseball at Hoagland Ballpark Friday at 3. 8 o'clock at Allen Fieldhouse, KU K-State volleyball. Of course, KU volleyball takes on TCU at Horge tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, on the gridiron, 11 a.m. on Saturday, KU basketball taking on Louisville as well in that exhibition game at the Yum Center, 6:30 on Friday. You can listen to coverage beginning at 6 o'clock on Sports Radio 810 WHB via the Jayhawk Radio Network. A lot also going on all across the world of sports. Right now, we've got the World Series set, the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers, as the Blue Jays won Game 7 last night. A 3-run homer from George Springer sent the Blue Jays to the World Series. The Seattle Mariners have still never been to a World Series, so that has been a disappointment in the last 24 hours or so for Seattle. Star catcher Cal Raleigh calling it a failure. I don't know if their fans feel that way through the heartbreak, because it was an exciting season, but they just came up short. And now it's the Dodgers, back-to-back appearances in the World Series and the National League. Strangely, not a lot of back-to-back appearances in the World Series. The Royals did it in 14 and 15, but there have not been too many to do that. And, of course, the Dodgers are looking to go back-to-back as World Series champions after they knocked off the Yankees last year. So a lot going on. NFL football as well. The Chiefs are at home again, 3rd consecutive week. We're going to have coverage of that on Rock Chalk Sports as well as this week rolls on. And the big thing as well, these next 2 days, Big 12 Media Days. Dan's over at Big 12 Media Days at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. We're covering the KU women and the other Big 12 women's programs. And then tomorrow we will all be out there, KU and the Big 12 men's basketball media days as well. Hoping to hear from Brett Yormark at some point on the show, the commissioner of the conference. And we're going to have all sorts of sound on kansasnation.com, KU men's and women's players. You're going to have that on Rock Chalk Sports as well. So make sure you're tuned in to kansasnation.com for everything that you need. Coming up after this, we are going to hear from a couple other Jayhawks. We're going to hear from Jim Zabrowski, offensive coordinator, and also some head coaches, KU soccer's Nate Lee, KU volleyball's Matt Ulmer as well in this busy week here on The Call. That's all coming up next on ESPN Kansas City and kansasnation.com. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and kansasnation.com. What an opportunity it is for Jalen Daniels and the Kansas offense against K-State. KU's offense, of course, only scored 17 points in the loss against Texas Tech, but they have consistently been up in the 30s, which is what we were used to, right? Before the KU offense took a dip back last season. Jalen Daniels has been insane this year. He's on pace for 33 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and that's not even counting the damage that he's done on the ground. So a guy who certainly, if the wins start stacking up for Kansas, could be back in the Heisman conversation, because his season from an individual standpoint has been just that good. KU fans, it's all about the Dillon Sunflower Showdown coming out Saturday at 11 a.m. K-State has won 16 consecutive games. It would mean a lot to Jayhawk Nation if they're able to get this victory over the Wildcats. And it's a K-State team that looks more vulnerable than they do most years as they come in with a 3-4 record. KU 4-3. And when you look at it from the historical side, it's very important to break the streak, to wipe away the bad memories of what could have been each of the last 2 years. But when you look at it as well from the 2025 side of things, KU needs this win to inch closer to bowl eligibility. If they win this, they're 5-3, and they would be 6-3 if they knock off a bad Oklahoma State team on November 1st. That's not a guarantee, and certainly the K-State game isn't either. But 2 home games coming up here. This is a great opportunity for KU to check that box of bowl eligibility, and then of course worry about the following 3 opponents after those 2 games. But exciting time and a chance for a guy, Jalen Daniels, who hasn't beaten K-State, who had to miss the game a couple years ago at the booth, to go out, get it done, and have one of those legacy-type games as the quarterback who breaks the streak. Jim Zebrowski talks about Jalen Daniels and a lot more earlier today with reporters.
Looking back on the last game during the bye, what stood out to you about that?
Well, the negative plays, obviously. I think it was a good guy in the third quarter. The negative plays, obviously, can't win with 9 sacks. That's a pretty obvious statement. But I look at it more as 21-17 in the third quarter. We get stuff in it. We get 2 third ones we don't get. That's a game. The first one, we had gotten some of the short ones before. The first third one was still 21-17, and we didn't get it. We punted, they scored, and then we drove all the way back down. We tried to take a shot in the next third down and got sacked, and then punted in the end zone, and the game goes from 21-17 to 35-17. That's kind of what stands out. Those 2 critical moments where we've done some pretty good stuff early on those third shorts, and then once you get behind the sticks on those guys, once you get behind the chains on those guys, that's not a fun group to be behind on. And I thought the kids fought hard. They really did. Just obviously, I put them in some bad situations. As the game went on, trying to get the ball down the field, but I think it really came down. I felt like that third quarter. I'm like, dang it, especially the second. Even if we get the second one, I think there was 2 or 3 minutes left. I think. In the third quarter, I think when we got sacked and punted, they drove down at the end of the quarter. So 28-24 going to the fourth would have been great.
When your offensive line has a game like that, do you have to work to restore their confidence, or are they pretty good at kind of resetting on their?
Pretty good resetting. And I think it's always, I always look at it like a sack is like, I always put on myself, number one. I called it. And then like I told the quarterbacks, you got to put it on you. You would have got sacked. And I know it sounds pretty crazy, but that's just what kind of our mindset is. The quarterback room is like, you can blame it on, the left tackle, the right guard, the center, whoever it is. I go, I called the play. That's my sack. The quarterbacks, Jalen's going to say the same thing. I took it. Because it always comes down to, because what happens sometimes is, was it a movement or a twist or something? Or did someone get beat, or did we hold on to it too long? And I felt bad, a couple of those holding calls. Sometimes we do a really good job protecting. The longer you hold on to it, the worse it's going to get sooner or later. So I don't think the confidence is that bad at all. I think you look back, the game with guys, it's like anything. It's a couple moments here we got fixed, obviously. I'm putting some of the situations, like the play action stuff is tough. I always say it to myself, I said, you guys take it off you. Put it on me. Let's figure this thing out. So I think we'll be fine. Because the great thing the last couple of years have always been really good in that area. It's kind of like one. You can't let one moment go like, oh, all of a sudden we got like the best team in the country or the world. No, I go, it's just one moment. So you got to figure it out and keep on trucking.
Is that something you communicate to your O-line?
Yep. Yeah, into the team especially. Yeah. I look at it because it's so funny because I joke all the time. So I'll say it again. Being a math major, I can do some pretty cool things with numbers and that stuff. You look at it, it's still win or loss. I know it's simple to say. I always thought about this when I got more when I was done playing coach, especially with head coach Lakeland. It's like winning by 6 or 60 or 1 or 50 don't matter. Losing the same way. We just play Whitewater. Totally different deal. When I was at Lakeland, there's a minimal chance of us. But I'm like, we're going to do everything we can. We stayed in some games, but you got to be really a risk taker. You got to realize you may pull out the upset or you may get destroyed. And that's the way it's going to be. Give the kids a chance and so on. So I looked at it as like, if you get the kids to understand a loss is a loss. If you learn, this is like practice. You learn from it, figure it out. Okay, I look back. We got to call some things better. Yeah, we did some things better, but let's learn from it. You move on. That's the only way you can do it. I said, they're a really good team. No, we're a really good team. Like I said, it came down to a player two. Like last time, it comes down to that player two. Unfortunately, it came in that third quarter. They kind of turned it around. At least turned the tide with momentum, or how you want to say that.
Do you find that taking some of that on your shoulders, or Jalen taking it on his shoulders, helps the the O-line's confidence stay at a higher level
I
versus
do.
taking the beating that they get tonight?
Yeah, I do, because I know it's coming from the outside everywhere else. It comes on. I know what comes on me too. That's why I don't realize stuff you guys bring. I apologize. No, jokingly, but I never look at it that way. I'm like, hey, it's us and the people in the room and the coaches. That's all I can do. And like, guys, just stay together. Like it's like Lance, well, a coach always say, don't let one loss turn in. Don't let the one team beat you twice, or multiple ways like that. So don't let something happening like that beat you again and again. Let's learn from it, fix it. Let's see if we get better from it. So yeah, I think it does help. Those guys, I want them to realize too. It goes not on you. It's like we win as a team, we lose as a team. We take a sack as a team, or we take a lost player, a big player as a team. As a
play caller, how do you weigh when you're facing a really good pass rush? You know, maybe helping the tackles out with the running back or tight end versus, hey, we like to throw to those guys.
Yeah, no, that's a great question too. Some routes, sometimes you start situations where you're trying to press it and push it, and you want some more pro. The problem is if you're getting pressure with just 3 or 4, they can still drop 7 or 8. That's always the unique part. It's like they're bringing more. Sometimes you can pick up your balance in the numbers. So it's a balancing act. You have parts of your game obviously have chips and bumps, how you want to call them in there, and then some plays you don't hope you ball out fast. So it's kind of that fine. I think if I look back, I'm like, yeah, I need to do. As I got, so there's probably some time to be like, hey, you probably need to run it sometime. Even when you get behind us, run it sometimes to get that thing going, just to not let it tee off, especially at their place. The good thing with that place is being a loud atmosphere. They can do a pretty good jump sometimes off the ball too. Sometimes that home field helps you in those moments and things start going. So it's a great balancing act. I thought, and then, like I said, the game plan's always mixed in with tons of it. Ever since Andy and I have been together before, they always got to take care of the quarterback. Try to, and then sometimes it just doesn't work out as you hoped it would.
Lance mentioned that you actually ended up getting more, of high shot than you expected
Yes.
in that game. I guess what value does it provide for you guys now that you have them back in the fold more?
A ton. It does. It like anytime you have somebody, like a 1 or 2, that gets back, it helps the whole crew. It's like a trickle down effect or a trickle up effect. How you want to say that? It's like now the other guy can play more too, and you get more depth in that position. So it's huge, especially a kid like him. He's been around for many years, and in a game like this, and he's been there for many years for these games, and I think he's excited to get back at it. And it was really good. I was really surprised how much, pleasantly surprised and pleased. I'm like, oh my gosh, and he still looks great. Obviously, bye week was awesome. We're really excited about that. Very excited.
You can use them as needed.
Yes, sir.
What's standing out to you about Kansas State on defense?
The front, the whole defense. I've always said this. We know the coaching staff really well, obviously. Through our time, through time in Minnesota, and some of those guys are at North Dakota, and Brian Anderson, running back coach. So those guys are really good coaches. Overall, the whole group is, but the front defense is really good. The front 7 stands out, and it has for years. I feel like on the linebacking core is really good. Like just been around, plays really hard. The whole defense plays. I always believe watching them, and it still does, that they play just hard. They're physical. They play hard. They come downhill. They do a good job creating turnovers. And we got to minimize that situation. But I think it's the overall. If you had to say what's the I hate to say strength, what kind of stands out is that front 7 stands out, and making plays and being very multiple and versatile. What they do, they have to be very smart too. This is what they do. They do a lot of different things up front.
We were just talking to DK about this, but what's it like when you have a bye week to prepare for a team that also has a bye week to prepare for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I always think about that too. It's always fun when it's the other way around. You're like, just I don't know. It's good and bad. Bye weeks are awesome. Obviously, you get your refuel the jets and get going, but also you get to the point of I hate to say over, but you just want to get this thing going. You feel like you've been watching them for multiple weeks, and let's just get this thing going. So no, it doesn't do much at all, I guess, but it's like you watch them more. And I just want to get this thing on and let's go.
Jimmy, you played 4 times against K-State under Lance here, obviously.
Yes.
If you look at the box scores, the first 2 pretty lopsided in their advantage run game wise.
Yeah.
The last 2, you guys either won in the running game or were even with them there. Obviously, you had Devin, but do you look back at stats like that and say, man, that's kind of a key to this?
No, I think I don't know if you look back and necessarily add it, but you know what happened. I guess I know because I remember the 2 years ago it was Cole playing. And we had Torrey. We had like a multitude of guys playing quarterback and taking snaps and doing option stuff. Knowing in those kind of moments, I guess that one moment was kind of like, you hope you needed it a lot just for a young kid playing back there. The young kid's best friend is always going to be the run game, being able to do it. So I think that was huge. And then the last time I thought I think you see it going, it gives ball control, obviously. It keeps the ball out of their hands, and helps shorten the game, and which is good. Keeps their offense is good off the field, which I think was a big thing. But the physicality part, I think this game is always kind of every game's important. That's why I always say that too. And I 100% agree, 1,000,000%. This game is one. It's a rivalry game. It's a physicality game. I think that always got those guys going too. Yeah, Devin was terrific. But you hope you can do that again. And I think what it also does a team like this, it hopefully calms down their pass rush and their blitz scheme and so on and so forth. They'll kind of handle that a little bit better.
Do you have a general thought process on third and short plays of I want to do this, I want to do that? You talked about the tech game, but is it just scenario based, or how do you kind of?
No, it's game. It is. You look and see. You have kind of that game was working. I think we were caught into was it 6 3rd and 1s or something like that. Kind of crazy. I thought it was something which is kind of a lot, but I'm like holy mackerel, something like that. But you see, you have 3 or 4, and then you obviously have short yard run game and so on. We have a mixture of like a passes, runs, so on. Each week's different because each team's a little different in what they do. So you do have those, and like I said, we worked pretty hard. Like I said, we were good early, not as good later. But you work a lot on those. Like today was a 3rd down day for us, and you put your package together.
What did Tech do to really limit your guys' ability to get explosive plays?
Well, even going in that game, getting home fast helps. I think the DNs, I think the front 4. Even going in that game, I'm like, it's going to be a completion game. I don't know if we're going to be able to get. Now we got some side pocket throws. We did get some throws. I think some good throws still, but I knew it was going to be complete. I think he was like 27 or 33. So those games where you weren't going to get. You weren't going to have a lot of time. A few times we tried to take time, ended up not in our favor. So I kind of made it say, hey, let's keep the chance moving. Sometimes your pass game kind of becomes an extension of your run game. Those type of games, it's kind of it's an NFL model or style. We're watching those games a lot of times. Those guys got to get rid of the ball so fast. Those guys are coming so fast and getting home. So that's where I kind of looked at it as a completion type game, and hoping to get a couple. And like the touchdowns were great. We're not explosive big plays, but none. It's going to be harder to sit back and they still played zone. They weren't a ton of man, so there weren't a ton of opportunities. So you knew you're going to have to hold out a little longer.
Coach spoke yesterday about the option game and how what he doesn't see defensively is kind of limited that. What do you guys look for that limits the option game?
The defensive structure, what they do sometimes defensively, how they play their edges, how they play their second, how they play back end, and you kind of look and see if the numbers are in your favor for the option variations a little bit. And if there aren't, you just don't worry. But it's because obviously they're great things. Obviously, we struggled. I think the last time we ran, we went on the ground, which isn't great. I think it was a Cincinnati game, but one of those guys that wasn't great. So that always puts it back in mind, going, it's not so good. But I think it needs to be. We need to keep working with it, and not giving up on it, but being able to still use it for sure. But sometimes it's what the teams are doing, being wide edges or different secondary structure, which usually will then give yourself a chance to do something else.
Anything else for Coach Zabrowski? All right.
Thanks, fellas.
A lot of excitement for the Dillon Sunflower Showdown, of course, coming up Saturday at 11 a.m. Be locked into Rock Chalk Sports the rest of the week. We're going to have Henry Greenstein. We're going to have Brian Haney, all of our special guests talking KU, K-State. A lot going on. Be also checking kansasnation.com. All the coverage you need, not only for football, but men's and women's basketball. Big 12 Media Day for women and men today and tomorrow, respectively. So make sure that you are staying tuned. Also on our socials, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere you get your podcast as well. Check us out on Rock Chalk Sports and kansasnation.com. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for listening on ESPN Kansas City and watching kansasnation.com.